Hi everyone. In the last class we have seen starting methods of the DC motor. In the today's session we will see the electric braking. That is how to apply the electric braking to the motor. The motor is made to work as a generator by producing a negative torque. We need to produce the negative torque to apply the brakes to the motor. So what is the need of electric braking? That negative torque, how to produce a negative torque, that we'll see in further sessions. Just electric braking required. As of now you remember that the electric braking is required negative torque. To produce a negative torque we need to produce the negative armature current. So how to produce that negative armature current means by means of power electronic equipments we need to produce that negative armature current. So that's what power semiconductor drives. Okay, so what is the need of electric braking? If a motor is running at some speed and it is discontinued from the supply, once if it is discontinued from supply, the only opposing torque will be the load torque. The motor will stop only after the kinetic energy stored in its inertia is dissipated. What will happen? So we need to apply in advance, well in advance, we need to apply the opposing torque in addition to the load torque. Load torque is one of the opposing torque when we turn off the supply, but in addition to the load torque we need to give additional torque to bring the motor into the stop condition or at required stop condition. Okay, braking condition. For example, if load torque is small and inertia is large, in that case motors may take more long time to stop. But if our desired stop time is less time, in that case what we need to do? We need to add some other opposing torque in addition to the load torque if load torque is small. The applications like infrequent stopping applications, the additional opposing torque produced by the electric braking is required. In frequent stopping applications we need to supply or we need to provide the electric braking in addition to the load torque for the frequent stop applications, in addition to the load torque to oppose that inertia. The second one is in tractions. In traction, to prevent the accidents, if we apply the electric braking, it will stop within the prescribed time or within the less time. In achieving the quick or smooth stop operations, we need to go for the electric braking only in the traction applications. In accurate stop applications like lifts, machine tools, screw down mechanism in rolling mills, lift, if you want to stop the lift at second floor means it has to stop at second floor only. So we need to produce or we need to apply the electric braking by means of reversing the current. We need to apply the electric braking, then only the opposing required torque will be produced to stop the lift at required floor, that may be second floor or third floor. Without electric braking it is not possible for the smooth or quick stop or accurate stop applications, will not work out. Okay, the next one is active load applications. Active load applications means, if you see here, this is one of the active load applications. Let us assume that one vehicle is moving from hill to downside. So in this case the drive speed reach dangerously high values without having some opposing torque. If you apply the braking, for example, at some point of time, at here if you apply the braking, it need to stop. Need to stop means we need to reduce the speed to a required level by having some opposing torque. Otherwise what will happen? It will go with the dangerously high speed to the downside. So without electric braking the speed will be high. So we need to apply the electric braking in the case of active load applications. Next one, If machine develops the positive torque, when we need to say the electric motoring, when we need to say the electric braking. If machine develops the positive torque, then in that case the electric energy is converted into the mechanical energy, and that is called the motoring mode. When the machine develops the positive torque, electric energy to the mechanical energy. The conversion of energy is from electric energy to the mechanical energy, and it is in motoring mode. If torque is negative means your equation is performance equation, torque T is equal pi into Ia, right? Here torque is directly proportional to the armature current. By reversing the armature current, you are going to get the negative torque. If torque is negative means the conversion of electrical energy, the conversion of energy is from mechanical to electrical. That mechanical energy may be inertia of the motor load or active load torque on the motor shaft. That need to be converted into the electrical energy. In that case, it will work like a generator. With the negative torque, it will work like a generator. With the positive torque, it will work like a motor. Okay. Throughout the drive subject, we need to remember these concepts. If torque is positive, when torque will be positive means if your armature current is positive, torque will be positive. If you reverse the armature current, your torque will be negative. If your torque is positive means that is in motoring mode. If your torque is negative means that is in braking mode. That may be forward motoring, forward braking, reverse motoring, reverse braking. But torque is negative means that is in braking. Torque is positive means that is in motoring mode. Okay. So we need to achieve this condition whether torque is positive or torque is negative by using power electronic converters, by reversing the armature current or by allowing the armature current in the positive direction. Okay. So further, the electric braking is classified into the three types based on the disposition of electrical energy. How we are disposing the electrical energy? By means of that, the electric braking is classified into the following three types. One is regenerative braking, another one is dynamic braking or rheostatic braking, the third one is plugging or reverse voltage braking. So these three are the various types of electric braking. We'll see one by one. First we'll see the regenerative braking. All this braking we'll see the for separately excited motor as well as the series motor. So the first electric braking is regenerative braking. Regenerative braking, the energy generated is supplied to the source. The energy generated is supplied to the source. That means whatever the energy generated due to the regenerative braking, it need to supply back or it need to feed back to the source side. But the source, if the source doesn't have the capability to store that energy, by applying the regenerative braking, we are sending the power, additional power to the source. We are feeding back to the source. If source is not capable or if source doesn't have any capability to store that energy, in that case, we need to divert that energy to the other connected loads. We need to divert that extra generated energy due to the regenerative braking need to be converted to the other connected loads. If other loads are not connected, even that condition also fails. If other loads are not connected, in that case the regenerative braking cannot be employed. So if we want to apply the regenerative braking, what is meant by regenerative braking? We are generating the power by applying the brakes. That is regenerative braking. If you generate the power by applying the brakes, then that is called the regenerative braking. You are generating the power, but that power need to be sent it to somewhere, right? That place is again we are feeding back to the source. So that is first condition. If source is unable to take that power, then we need to send the same regenerated power to the other connected loads. If other connected loads also not there and source is also unable to take the power, in that case the regenerative braking is not possible. We cannot employ the regenerative braking. So that is the condition for regenerative braking. If we see the separately excited motor, for separately excited motor, just the steady state equivalent circuit diagram of the armature circuit of the DC motor. The base already we have seen this circuit diagram, right? Your supply is connected through the armature resistance to the armature. When it is in the motoring mode, supply voltage, this will give the current through this armature resistance, and armature current will enter into the positive terminal of the armature, so that the back EMF generated is equal to Ke into pi omega m. By applying KVL to this figure shown in the circuit diagram, supply voltage and back EMF is with plus minus. By applying KVL to this loop, with the armature current IA, you will get V is equal to E plus IARA. By rewriting this equation, IA is equal to V minus E by IARA, V minus E by RA. Now you got IA current equation. IA is equal to V minus E by RA. So here, like I told you, if you want to get the braking operation, we need to reverse the armature current. How can you get the negative armature current here? There is the possibility like either you need to make the supply voltage less than E, or you need to increase the back EMF more than V, right? Either V should be less than E or E should be greater than V. Then only the current will be negative, okay, as V minus E. So if E is greater than V, this E is greater than V, back EMF should be greater than supply voltage. This can be achieved either by increasing the back EMF or by reducing the supply voltage. You can get this condition. For any one of these condition, your armature current will be negative. Armature current will be reverse, means armature current will be negative. If armature current is negative, your torque T is equal to minus K pi Ia. That means your torque becomes negative. Your torque direction changes in opposite direction, and the machine now work as a generator. When it is when the machine is acting as a generator, means it pump the power into the source. Now the source will act like a sink of energy. When the armature current gets reversed, this will act like a generator. Your armature current will become negative, and so that your source will become, or it will act like a sink of energy. Okay, in that case, for the speeds greater than the rated no load speed, or for the above rated speeds, generally we'll go for the field control method. Like in the previous class we were discussed, we need to go for the field control method. The field control method means here these are the two conditions to get the regenerative braking, or to reverse the armature current, or to reverse the torque direction. By fixing the supply voltage at rated value for the above rated speed, if your field current is varied, you need to adjust your field current so that you can adjust the back EMF value to get the desired braking torque. You need to fix your supply voltage, and just by adjusting the field current, so that the flux will be adjusted and the back EMF will be adjusted, because E is equal to K pi omega m. So by adjusting the field current, you need to adjust the E value. By adjusting the E value, you can get the negative torque, right? That's what you are doing for the above rated speed. So for the above rated speed, we need to fix the supply voltage, because there is a limitation. There will be any chance of insulation failure, right? So that's what we have done. Then for the below rated speed, your field current should be maintained constant or at rated value. Now you need to adjust the supply voltage. By adjusting the supply voltage alone, if you keep the field current constant, your back EMF will be constant, and you can achieve the below rated speed characteristics. Okay. In traction application, Source voltage needs to cater a number of loads. In traction applications, we know it needs to supply the there are many connected loads. So the required constant voltage or the constant voltage is required for such application. In traction applications, we need constant voltage application, because constant voltage, because other connected loads also there. If you are reducing the voltage, that will affect on the connected loads also. So in that case, we do not reduce the supply voltage. In that case, what we need to do? We need to go for only field weakening method. By reducing the field only, we need to go for the above rated speed. In that case, and where n is directly proportional to the EB by pi, here EB by pi you can achieve by keeping this constant voltage, because as the traction applications are having other connected loads, we are fixing the supply voltage and we are increasing the back EMF alone. If you are increasing the back EMF, there you are getting the negative armature current. If you are increasing the back EMF and by fixing the supply voltage, you are getting the negative armature current, so that you will get the negative torque. Once if you get that negative torque, here your back EMF is increased and you are going for reducing the field flux reduction, so that you get the above rated speed operation. Your speed will be increased and field must be weakened to achieve this condition. For the below rated speed, again you can go for the armature control method. There are few restrictions here, even for below rated speed also. If you want to go for E is greater than or E is increased, then flux will also increased. Then flux is increased means you can get the speeds lower than the rated speed. Okay, the quite opposite for this operation. Here if you increase the speed, if you increase the flux, you will get the reduced speeds by keeping this, by increasing this field or by increasing this induced EMF alone, because we are keeping the supply voltage constant. By doing this, you can get the below rated speed also. Here what are the restrictions? So you are fluctuating the field current alone. In that, again, if you are increasing the field flux, generally for below rated speed we need to go for armature voltage control method, but here we are going for the, again we are increasing the field flux even for the below rated speed also. If you are increasing the field flux, your field current should be increased so that your field flux will be increased. What is the drawback of doing like this? The machine has to operate at knee point of the magnetization characteristics, so that if you are increasing the field current, your field flux will be increased and machine may fail to operate at knee point, and there is a chances of heating of the field winding also. So there is a restriction for the below rated speed, but we can operate comfortably the above rated speed characteristics by keeping the supply voltage constant. As we are keeping the supply voltage constant in traction to do not affect the other connected loads, we are going for this alternate method, but that alternate method also has some restrictions. We have to take care of this one also. Okay. And here for constant voltage source applications, to avoid the above restrictions, there is a restrictions, right? Like field winding will get heated and the machine fails to operate at knee point. Those are the restrictions for the constant voltage source and to get the below rated operation. By increasing the field flux, that restrictions we are getting. To avoid such restrictions, use the step up chopper. The step up chopper for low speeds or below rated speed control, we need to use the step up chopper between the machine and the source, so that your voltage will be fixed, your source voltage will be fixed, but to the machine alone you can reduce the voltage. The other connected loads will have the same supply voltage. Okay. So by doing like that, we can get by adjusting the duty ratio of the chopper, you can get the required back EMF, which will be greater than the supply voltage. So that your supply voltage you are maintaining constant and you are getting the required negative armature current. That means by operating this or by changing the back EMF, you are getting the required negative armature current, and your other connected loads are taking the same supply voltage. So everything will be solved. The variations of the torque and power and motor current ratings for the motoring operation are also applicable for the generating operation, regenerative braking operation. That means here motoring operation means that is in the first quadrant, right? Your first quadrant operation will give the motoring mode operation, where your speed versus torque characteristics, your speed and torque both are positive, means it is in motoring operation. Already we have seen the characteristics. Natural characteristics are, let us assume this is the natural characteristics or rated characteristics, and in the first quadrant below the natural speed characteristics we can achieve by using the armature voltage control method. Above the natural speed characteristics you can get it by using the field flux control method. So here when the speed as well as torque is positive, means it is operating in the motoring mode. When you reverse the armature current, your armature current is negative, so that your torque will be negative. Now your torque is negative, and once torque is negative with the same speed direction, your machine will enter into the second quadrant. That second quadrant is braking quadrant. So this is your, as speed is in the forward direction, so this is, speed is always positive. Speed is here positive in the first and second quadrant, right? So it is forward motoring mode. And once if you reverse the torque direction by reversing the armature current, your speed is positive only, but torque becomes negative. So as speed is positive, again it is in the forward direction only, but as torque is negative, it is forward braking mode. It will enter into the forward braking mode. Just the characteristics will extend into the second quadrant. To get that braking characteristics, your motoring characteristics will extend into the second quadrant to get the braking characteristics. Okay, so this is above rated speed characteristics. That's why we are decreasing the flux by keeping the voltage constant for the above rated characteristics, and by decreasing the voltage and at constant flux we are getting the below rated characteristics in braking also, because the motoring characteristics are extended into the second quadrant to get the braking characteristics. Okay, so these are the regenerative braking characteristics and motoring characteristics. The next one is, that is for separately excited motor. Next, if you see the series motor, it cannot be used for regenerative braking. Series motor cannot be used for regenerative braking, because if you see here, series motor, field winding as well as the armature both are connected in series, right? So when you reverse the armature current by reversing the current through the field, the induced EMF also it will get reversed, because both are connected in series. When you reverse the field winding, your armature current and field current both are same, both will get reversed. There is no use in that. So that's why we do not get the braking operation with normal reversing the current operation for the series motor. But by connecting the field through the bridge rectifier, it is possible. That means, like shown in this circuit diagram, just if your field winding is connected to the rectifier. What is rectifier? Rectifier means AC to DC conversion. Your DC field winding is getting the DC voltage here, and current through the field winding, it is always positive, because your rectifier will give always positive current from the positive terminal of the rectifier. That means your current is always like this. Whether supply voltage is positive or negative, as it is alternate, your current is always entering from this 1 to 2 only, 1 dash to 2 dash only. That means always your field winding is getting the positive current only. You can reverse the armature terminals to get the braking operation now. So this is possible by giving the connections like through the rectifier to the field winding. Okay, the switch over from the motoring operation to the generating operation, motoring to the generation, I will change and E will change. That means armature current will change as well as the back EMF will change. The machine will not be able to self excite against the supply voltage, so that we need to take care actually. So machine need to self excite. One common method, connect the series motor also like a shunt motor and control the field resistance by using the chopper control method. So that we'll see in the coming sessions. So one thing is, series motor cannot be employed for the regenerative braking. Just to apply the regenerative braking, if you are going for the rectifier and these such type of method, means it is the cost will increase as well as the complexity also will increase. That's why we can avoid this method. The series motor cannot be employed for regenerative braking in normal conditions. Okay, the advantage of the regenerative braking is the generated electrical energy. By applying the brakes, whatever the energy we are getting, that we are using or we are employing to the some other connected loads or to the source instead of wasted. Okay, that means your regenerated power is using somewhere, either it is connected to the loads or we are sending it back to the source. But in other braking applications like dynamic braking or plugging, we are gonna waste the power. So that's why regenerative braking is an efficient method, because we are using that regenerating power effectively. Okay, so this is all about the regenerative braking, and we'll see the remaining braking methods in the next session. Thank you all.